Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon on this Thursday, windy Thursday afternoon. Another day at the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. We have wind that is blowing from the southwest today, quite fiercely actually, 20 knots or so. The runway configuration active at the moment is the same as it was over the last week. That is, landings take place on runway 18 right predominantly, but depending on how crowded and busy it gets, runway 27 will also be used as a secondary runway for landings. Runway 24 the primary runway for departures, and runway 18 left the secondary runway used when it is busy. At the moment, runway 18 right, the current runway, is the only runway in use for arrivals, and both runways are active now for departures. It's sunny, although then inward clouds are forming. If you look to the west towards the sea, it is almost a clear blue sky. We might see some showers later this afternoon, so I will keep the weather radar in check every now and then. I also took a precautionary measure and already wrapped my power supply in 2 garbage bags should it start to rain. My camera, however, is still exposed and in the normal configuration. That is the dead cat and bear on tripod. I will have to put on the rain cover should the weather turn bad. For now, I think we'll be good for at least an hour, but we'll have to see. Cafe Spotter, Lara Coyle, Photo for You, Jack Efron, Nia, Gosse, Marcel, Peter, good afternoon all. Welcome to the stream. Originally, I didn't expect I was able to do a stream this afternoon. I had obligations that should have lasted the entire day, but we were done by the end of the morning, so I figured, hey, it's good weather, or at least it's dry. It's also a bit windy, so I figured let's go out and do some streaming. You can see the airplane is crabbing, wind is blowing from the right for these pilots. Crosswind. They are landing in a southern direction, and wind is coming from the southwest. You can also see the windmills in the background. As it's also a bit gusty, I figured I'd turn on image stabilization again, but it makes for different movements. It smooths out little vibrations, such as the tripod that is still being affected by the wind, and the camera as well. But it can also be a little bit well, shaky, not so much, but sudden movements can sometimes occur. But it's better than having a vibratory image all the time. Andrew Rothney from Glasgow, good day to you, sir. Welcome to the stream. And Fahad Ali, hallo, goedemiddag. Welcome everybody. Now the sun is out. It's also shining on my camera screen, so I have to hold my hand in front of it to see the airplane, but visibility, at least under these conditions, is much better than it was last week or last Monday when I was doing a rain test. With the rain cover over it, it is a bit more difficult to see. I did, however, prepare for eventual rain should it come, and placed my tripod, or at least my camera, higher on the tripod. Extended the legs of the camera tripod more, so that at least it is more ergonomical. Martin, goedemiddag, good afternoon. And Muskan, good day to you. Welcome to the stream. So, let's see. Coming in is an E2 Embraer 195 from KLM. It's KLM flight 1588. Departed from Naples, Italy. As a chauffeur is passing by to the left of me along the cycling path. This airplane coming in from Naples, 1 year old, delivered in April 2021. I'm also still working on finding the cause for the crackling that you're hearing right now, probably. I heard it already as I was setting up. It's always there when it's windy, and I have no idea where it's coming from. I already checked all the connectors several times at home as well. Took a hair dryer, took a fan, took pressurized air to see if maybe I could get the crackling at home, testing where it might come from. I still have no idea. Yorkshire Biker, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream again. Good to see you. So visibility is good. It is extremely, well, it is quite windy. You can see in the water, and also well, the windmills in the distance, of course, and also the smoke. You see it blows away from me. Currently we are standing with the wind in our back. And inward, clouds are forming. However, if you look to the west, towards the sea, sky is mostly blue, but that doesn't mean that it might not rain later this afternoon, so that is something I will have to keep an eye out for. But the only thing I need to do to safeguard everything from the rain is basically put the rain cover around my camera, so it could be worse. Sue Major, good afternoon. Chris Rico, hello. And Joe Martin, good day. Good to see you all. Now, the sun is out, and if it wasn't blowing as hard as it is, it would have been a very lovely spring day. It is currently 14 degrees centigrade, that is approximately 57 or 58 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not too cold. Hey Wendy, good afternoon. Good to see you. Welcome back. Hope everybody is doing well. We're waiting for the next airplane. It is already visible in the distance. And it is an Airbus A320neo from Pegasus, flight 1253, inbound from Istanbul after a flight of 3 hours and almost 15 minutes. The airplane we are about to see land, 6 years old, delivered in November 2016. Myself aptly calling it Crabbing Thursday. It certainly is. have turned on image stabilization, so sometimes the image can go left and from left to right a little sudden. That is the image stabilizer correcting for movement. Normally speaking, it's advised not to have image stabilization on if you're shooting from a tripod. However, during the storm, the Monday storm we had, was it not last Monday but last week Monday, I noticed that despite having fixated my tripod with tent wires and herrings into the ground, there was still a lot of vibration. I noticed the same as I was setting up just now. So overall the image is more stable now than it would otherwise be with image stabilization turned off. So I'll keep it on for the time being, because otherwise the image would be a lot more shaky. Kathleen, hope you're staying warm, boy. Says, hope you're staying warm. Well, actually it's not that bad over here right now. It is windy, but the sun is out and it is 14 degrees centigrade or 57-58 degrees Fahrenheit, so not exactly cold. If it wasn't blowing as hard as it is, it would be a sweet spring day actually. Last Monday when I did my rain test it was a lot colder, but then again it wasn't blowing as hard as it was as it is today. Obviously, because of the late start today, we already missed the Emirates A380 of today. I do believe that there are a few 747s still inbound. Matthias Oka, good day. Hope things are well with you in Munich. Marcelo Martins Costa, good day to you, good morning I should say, over in Brazil. Welcome to the stream. Hey there SK Airplanes, good day. Now, the Embraer 175 that we are about to see touchdown is coming in from Poznan, and 6 years old, was delivered in September 2016. Much for your super chat, my friend. Thank you so much, really appreciate it. And the wind is quite strong, SK Airplanes notices. It is blowing with 20 knots, gusts up to 30, as you can see in the ticker. Otherwise, no significant weather. Temperature is good. And actually the weather is quite nice, except it is blowing quite hard. We might see some showers later in the afternoon, so I will have to look at the weather radar as well. And you guys can tell that despite image stabilization on and me trying to stand in front of the camera to guard it from the wind with my body, it is still a bit shaky. For those of you tuning in later, welcome to the stream, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are currently standing alongside runway 18 right, the pole around. Wind is blowing from the southwest. These airplanes are landing in southern direction, so they have crosswind from the right. At the moment, runway 18 right is the only runway in use for landings. Let me double check. 27 has also been in use on and off, but at the moment it's a single runway for arrivals and dual runway configuration for departures. Runways 24 and 18 left being the two runways in use for the departures. And let me have a look at flight radar and see what's cooking. We're awaiting a Boeing 737-800 from Sun Express, flight 944, inbound from Izmir, Turkey, after a flight of almost 3.5 hours, about to touch down in a few minutes. The airplane we're about to see, 6 years old, delivered in June 2016. Pilot's choosing a later exit than the first one. Meanwhile, I can already see the next airplane in the distance. Let me see if I can show you guys. Now, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, we are expecting the infamous PH-BVA. It's the 777-300ER from KLM, also known as the Orange Pride liveried one. She's coming in from Lima after a flight of 10 hours and 55 minutes. The airplane, 15 years old, delivered in January 2008 and about to touch down in a few minutes. nice wheelie landing at that. Look at that. Silent, but still very pretty. I've said it before quite a few times. For those of you who are new to Schiphol, the runway we are standing along is the furthest removed from the main platform area. So this airplane still has a 10-minute taxi to the gate at least, also depending on where it needs to be. Runway 18 center, 36 center still closed for maintenance. So I think if I look at flight radar, they are still all taxiing around the runway, going down first around the threshold and then back up again to get to the gates on the north side of the terminal building. On the right you can also see the windsock and another confirmation of the wind that is currently blowing. So let's turn around. The next plane will arrive shortly. Not yet visible to me, but soon will be. Photo for you informs us that there is a Queen underway, ETA 12 minutes, so if you guys need to grab a cup of coffee, do so now. If you need to use the bathroom, make it quick, but be back in time for the Queen, the first Queen of today. Petroschoke, good afternoon from Athens, good day to you, welcome to AMS Live. And speaking of coffee, let me take a little sip from my own thermos. And while we do have a minute, let me also have a look at the weather radar, see if precipitation underway or not. And by the looks of it, I did see some rain along the east coast of England as I was packing and preparing to go out. But if I look at the weather radar now, it seems to have dissolved on the way to the Netherlands. So for now, we seem to be good. That's good. But for you remarks that wind sounds harder in the mic than it looks over there. Well, that's almost always the case, but it does also seem to have eased a little bit, only temporarily I think. It's on and off. Earlier, a few minutes ago, it was blowing a lot harder. Now it seems to be a bit easier. It's also gusty, so it's on and off as this 737 from KLM just touches down. Not taking the first exit. Next up will be an A320neo. From EasyJet, coming in from Innsbruck. Interesting. I didn't know they also flew on Innsbruck. I thought Transavia was the only operator that flew to Innsbruck from Schiphol. Informs us that Emirates Sky Cargo from Chicago is underway. A photo for you informs us that there's a banana underway. So an A300 from DHL. Then Emirates Cargo 777. So definitely something to look forward to. First up will be EasyJet flight 27974, an A320neo inbound from Innsbruck, airplane 3 years old, delivered in July 2019. And after that we will see the A300 from DHL, inbound from Madrid. Camera for the A300 from DHL, also visible already. There she is. Can my camera focus on it properly? I think it's in focus. Excellent. So this A300 inbound from Madrid, obviously from DHL. 30-year-old aircraft, delivered in April 1992. Meanwhile, there's a 777 underway, and before that a Schiphol. So if you're wondering what you're hearing in the background, that would be it. And visible in the screen at the moment, Emirates flight 9988, Emirates Sky Cargo 777 freighter, inbound from Chicago O'Hare. The airplane is 8 years old, delivered in June 2014. and it's about to touch down after a flight of 7 hours and just over 20 minutes. Ever since people referred to the DHL airplanes as banana, I have to think of that song from Gwen Stefani. This is bananas, B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Always pops up in my head whenever I see one of those yellow aircraft. I see we have a lot of viewers already. In the meantime, everybody who tuned in later, welcome to the stream. My name is Boyd, this is AMS Live. You're watching crabbing action over here at the Polhem runway 18 right. Currently, I think still the only runway for landing. Let me double check. 27 has also, 27 has opened as well, so there are 2 runways in use now for landings and for departures. Traffic coming in from the east will probably go to runway 27, everything coming from the west and south most likely to this runway. This is the primary runway in use for landings. 27 is the secondary runway, open on and off today as it gets more busy, but Polhem, this runway, open for business the entire day. Now these planes are landing in southern direction. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the layout of the airfield, wind is blowing from the southwest, so as you can see there's crosswind from the right for the pilots as they are approaching the touchdown zone. You can also see the sun is out. The skies are mostly blue at the moment, although there are more clouds land inward. If you look towards the sea, there's more blue. Temperature wise it's very comfortable, other than the wind of course, but it is 14 degrees centigrade. So that is 57-58 degrees Fahrenheit approximately. Definitely not cold. At the moment it's still dry. We do expect precipitation over the night, coming in from England somewhere in the evening. We might also see some showers. They were forecasted to be mostly in the southeast of the country, and we are quite in the west. For now we're good. I will have to keep an eye out for any showers that might form, because in that case I will have to wrap my camera in my rain cover. 2 planes visible at the moment. In the foreground, a Boeing 737-700 from KLM, inbound from Toulouse. She's on her way for 1.5 hours now, 14 years old. Let me also turn around the camera a bit more and zoom in. The airplane, 14 years old, delivered in March 2009. And already visible behind it, and I'm going to pan back to it in a few moments. It's the first queen. there she is. It is KLM Cargo, operated by Martinair Holland, flight 7122, inbound from Miami, Florida. 747-400. She's 20 years old, delivered in March 2003, and airborne now for 7 hours and 51 minutes. And Salam Mina Husseinova. Hopefully I pronounced your last name somewhat correctly. Certainly didn't disappoint there. That was a last minute landing. Hey there Ina, guten Tag, herzlich willkommen. Hope you're doing well. Taxi back to the cargo area that is located on both sides of runway 0624 begins. A very, very beautiful landing. Royal application of the thrust reversers as well. Hope it was audible as well for you as it was for me over here. Vanishes behind the dedicated tower that runway 18 right has over here, and to the left of it is the fire station. And along the trees the taxi goes, and I think, yeah, the Singapore Queen also on the way to the cargo area that is located around 0624. Now we missed the touchdown of this 777. Hope you guys don't mind. Back with the camera to the north where the airplanes are coming from. The next plane is also visible already. Commander Deutsche is saying that the weather over there in Düsseldorf, not so good, raining. Well, we are expecting rain as well later today, so I will also have to keep an eye out for any showers that might be coming this way, but I checked just now and for the time being we're good over here. The plane visible in the distance is KLM flight 1446 inbound from Aberdeen. It's an Embraer 190, airborne now for an hour and 10 minutes, and she's 9 years old, delivered in January 2014. And Lestetter Cole, if I pronounced that correctly. First time watching, welcome to AMS Live, welcome to the family. Hope you're well, and I'm glad to read that you're enjoying yourself. That's what it's all about over here. Taking the first exit over here, vacating the runway in time for the next plane that is also already visible. So let me turn around the camera so you guys can see. There she is. Let me have a look. Tobias Polreich mentions that in Austria the weather is just cloudy, but the sun comes out soon. That is always good to know. Hopefully no rain. I think most of Europe has seen a lot of rain already. I think only the Spanish Portuguese peninsula is already suffering from rain shortage. Although we didn't have a lot of snow in the Alps over the winter. That's something I always follow as an avid ski enthusiast. And this is, by the way, British Airways flight 438 inbound from London Heathrow, an A319, 19 years old, delivered in March 2004. Nelly Boltjes, goedemiddag, welcome. Also watching for the first time, a very warm welcome to AMS Live. And Nusrat, hi to you too, welcome, hope you're doing well. So the airplane that we are about to see touchdown is coming from Birmingham. An Embraer 190 KLM flight 1426. She's underway now for 43 minutes, and the airplane is 13 years old. It was delivered in February 2010. Hey Rick, goedemiddag, good to see you, welcome back, hope you're doing well. I'm doing really good. Bit windy over here, but the sun is out, temperature is okay. No precipitation visible on bioradar for the next hour or so, or the next couple of hours hopefully. Originally I was supposed to have a training the entire day, but we were already done by the end of the morning, so I figured, hey, the weather is good, let's go to the airport and do some streaming. Next plane is already about to touch down. No, still further back to the end of the runway. A little bit of back-to-back action. Transavia 737 inbound from Funchal, Madeira. Spoilers lowered and vacating the runway at the first exit. Now we're waiting for the next airplane that is inbound from Reykjavik, Iceland. She's still out a little bit, but will become visible soon, and definitely early visible for us because visibility is quite good. Now meanwhile I am receiving an email from PayPal that I received a donation from Mark Warwick. Mark, if you're watching, thank you very much for your kind donation. Hopefully you're watching, hopefully you're hearing me. Thank you, very much appreciated. Unfortunately I cannot show it in screen as I can with messages in the chat and super chats, but I still see it and I want to thank you very much for it. Now, Rom NYC asks how strong the gusts are at the moment. I did an update of the ticker before going live. So the weather is visible in the bottom of the screen in the ticker. And before going live, it was 20 knots with gusts up to 30. Dennis de Rintros also joining us again. Welcome back, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Using the image stabilizer, not very helpful if you're doing if you try to follow an airplane moving by you quickly. Inbound next is KLM flight 2010, inbound from Kristiansand. It's an Embraer 175, 5 years old, delivered in January 2018. Can barely make it out visibly. You guys should be able to see it just in the distance in the top of the screen. Two 737s following it. Runway 27 still open for business. Let me see if I can work with your tip mic. Problem is that on the normal rocker I have a certain low speed set that is optimal for zooming in and out for the airplanes passing by, and it takes a really long time to zoom out fully in that with that speed. But I think I can put in a faster speed on the zoom switch on my handlebar, which I can possibly use then when I pan back to the end of the runway. Let me see where that is. Zoom speed, handlebar zoom. Alright, let me do that maximally. Right, let me see how that works out. Oh yeah, that's much better. That enables a much faster zoom that I can use for when I am panning back and forth. And I can use the second setting when I'm on airplanes. That is, by the way, a bit more difficult to do if the conditions are rainy and the rain cover is over the camera, because then where it mounts onto the shoe mount to fixate the rain cover onto the camera is just behind the zoom rocker. Hopefully this is better for you guys. And Tobias asked, how did you become a plane spotter? Well, it's something that I was always interested in. In fact, if I didn't have color vision deficiency, I probably would have become a pilot instead of something else. But yeah, something I already did as I was a small kid, and only later when I first saw, I think Jerry with Big Jet TV was, of course, one of the first guys that did live streaming, and I saw that a few years ago, and I thought, hey, that would be nice to do. And then the idea faded away again, and at a later stage, the idea popped up in my head again, and I figured, well, why not do it? It's something I like. I'm into aviation. I also always have been interested in photography and film a little bit, so a nice combination of two interests. you're new to the channel and you're liking what you're seeing, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. It allows you to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live you receive a notification. If you have the time for it and are feeling like it, you can join us again. It also helps me greatly to reach more people like you and me who are also into content like this. There are a great many aviation enthusiasts out there, and I think we've only begun to scratch the surface of the people that might potentially be interested in content like this. Now, as I was more busy checking the camera settings and the chats, I didn't check. Maybe it's a little bit quick. Let me see if maybe a couple of steps slower is more comfortable visually. Handle zoom speed 16 back to 13. Let's just make it a zoom test stream on the go as well. All right. Roy, thanks for the kind words. And Tobias informs us that Aeromexico is also inbound. ETA 20 minutes. Wasn't there also a Dreamliner from KLM coming in from Mexico City? Thought we always had two quite quickly behind each other. Hey there, Janet O. Welcome back, good to see you, hope you're doing well. And Nia, thank you so much for your kind words. I do my best to follow the airplanes as smooth as possible, but it is a bit difficult. The wind is blowing on me, it's blowing on the camera and on the tripod. Makes for a bit challenging conditions. I think enabling the image stabilization helped a bunch, even though it does make sudden jumps every now and then. Yes, I think this is a better zoom speed. The other one was a bit sudden. This is better, I think. Do you guys agree? I think this is a comfortable zoom speed for when I pan back to the beginning of the runway. Hey there, Paul Usher, good day to you. Welcome back, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So, is JetBlue coming to Schiphol in 2024? That's a nice scoop. I didn't know that. JetBlue. Well, unfortunately, I see that Kenya, the Dreamliner from Kenya, is landing on runway 27. We will, however, see as number 2 KLM flight 258 777 200 inbound from Mexico. First will be British Airways flight 8453, operated by BA City Flyer, inbound from London City, an Embraer 190, 14 years of age, delivered in January 2009, just about visible in the distance. Can we also see the 777? I think we can, just about. Now if you tuned in later, welcome to the stream, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are standing alongside runway 18 right, the Polderbaan, for some crosswind crabby landings. As you can clearly see with this Embraer, pilots have to do some work today. Wind is blowing from the southwest. These airplanes are landing in southern direction, which means there is a bit of crosswind from the right for these airplanes. Now, temperature wise, it is spring-like with 14 degrees Celsius or 57-58 degrees Fahrenheit approximately. The wind, before going live on the latest weather report of Schiphol, said 20 knots with gusts to 30 knots. At the moment it's dry. If I zoom out with my speedy zoom option, I can also show you the weather at the moment. If I look around me, this is to the south, this is parallel to the runway, and this is towards the sea, the North Sea. This is to the west. You can see beautiful blue skies mostly. This is where the wind is blowing from southwest, so I can see any showers if they do come this way in advance, allowing me time to put the rain cover over the camera. This is to the east, land inward, a bit more clouds. This is back to the north again, and the next airplane is also visible now. Oh yeah, it's lower than I thought. Here she is, 777-200, if I recall correctly. Let me have a look. So yeah, this is KLM flight 686. It is a 777-200ER inbound from Mexico City, airborne at the moment, 10 hours, and she's 19 years old, delivered in March 2004. There's another 777 inbound, looking to become number 3. Already slowed down quite a lot as she passed over here. If you compare that with the 747 earlier, she still needed to touch down almost at where I am standing at the moment. So, oh, and sorry, I forgot to zoom out, my apologies. Still have to get used to the new workflow. Takes a little bit of conscious effort. I'll get the hang of it. Edv asks which app I use to identify the planes. It's simple. I use Flight Radar, and I have a silver subscription, so I can also see the dates and the ages of these airplanes. Yeah, you have to pay a little for seeing the age of the aircraft, but you could also use, of course, the app for free. But I figured the few euros a year it costs to also get the plane's ages is worth it to me, because it's information I always miss when I look on YouTube and I see people making videos of traffic landing. They say where it's coming from, where it's going to, the time of the flight, the duration I should say, but not the age, and that's also something at least I personally am interested in. NYC asks, how about a swim in that river in those 30 knot gusts? Well, I actually wonder if you would be able to swim at all. I don't think it's very deep. You might, if you try to dive into it, you might break your neck or your wrists if you go arms first. I actually think the canal is not that deep, but I did see there's also a canal in front of runway 27, and a few times I've been there, always under windy conditions. I did see a few ducks that tried to swim upstream against the wind, but they didn't move a bit. They were swimming, but they didn't get ahead at all. I think the same would apply to me if I even were able to do some swimming over here. Let me zoom out and let me zoom in again. See, I get the hang of it slowly but surely. DVH B27, good day to you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well, mate. Alright. The airplane we are seeing, and let me see if I can focus on it, zoom in and focus on it. I think it is in focus at the moment. We're looking at Qatar Cargo flight 8102 inbound from Chicago O'Hare. It's a 777 freighter, underway now for 7 hours and 20 minutes, and it's a brand new, well, relatively new plane, I should say, delivered in April 2021, which makes it almost 2 years old. Plane coming in, just about visible in the distance. I think a little hard to see. Is KLM flight 1476, KLM City Hopper Embraer 175 inbound from Glasgow, departed an hour and 2 minutes ago. The airplane is 6 years old, delivered in January 2017. After that we will see an Embraer 190 and a 737-800, and then we will see the Dreamliner from Aeromexico, also inbound from Mexico City. I think I did remember correctly that there were two inbound from Mexico City relatively quickly after each other. Behind each other, I should say. Now let me also take a little sip of coffee because my thermos can keep it warm for long, but not indefinitely. Beautiful view on the reverse thrust reversers in this afternoon sun. You always have backlight when you stand over here in the mornings, and in the afternoons the sun is on the right side of the airplane and it illuminates all the details you can see if they pass by slowly. Tobias informs me that the date shows only the first flight of the airplane. I'm so sorry, I thought it was the delivery date. Zoom out, zoom in. All right. Next up, KLM flight 1282, inbound from Edinburgh, Embraer 190, airborne for an hour and 3 minutes at the moment, and the airplane is 11 years old. First flight, January 2012. Exiting over here, the first exit of the runway. Zoom out, zoom in again, and the downside of the sun being out and being where it is at the moment is that it illuminates, it shines on my camera screen. Makes it a little difficult to find the airplane initially. So what we are seeing now, KLM flight 1076 inbound from Manchester, a short flight, 47 minutes, 737-800, 23 years old, first flight April 1999. After that, and just about visible in the top left hand of the screen, Aeromexico flight 25, a Dreamliner inbound from Mexico City. Dreamliner, there she is. So this is Aero Mexico Flight 25, a 7879 Dreamliner inbound from Mexico City. Underway now for almost 10 hours to the minute, and the airplane we are seeing is 6 years old. First flight, November 2016. Now I hope you guys heard that as well as I did over here. It certainly wasn't a quiet landing. Thanks for the kind word, Henky. It was awesome, wasn't it, Rachel? Totally agree. Now, unfortunately, I cannot zoom in any further. I'm already zoomed in maximally from over here. Hey, thanks for bringing me a new sub, Roy. Thank you so much. And welcome, of course, to the family, Rachel. So, let me have a look at flight radar. We are expecting an Embraer 190 from KLM inbound from Bergen and a 737-800 inbound from Madrid after that. So let me turn around the camera for you guys so we can see. Embraer is visible in the distance, just about, I think still, yeah, too far out. Also I need to have a bit of land in my field of view for the camera to hold focus, or the object needs to be big like a Queen or a Super. Let me take this moment also to quickly check the weather radar, see if I'm still in the clear over here. No rain, nothing. The only thing that is expected by the looks of it is the large area now over the south of England, but that is expected for tonight, I think. Let me check 3 hours ahead. Oh yeah, we should be good at least until 6:30. No precipitation in the radar forecast, so that is good. Thanks for the kind words, Rom NYC. I hope you guys aren't hearing the crackling as much as I did when I had my earplugs in and doing a check of the audio, because I was still hearing the crackling that I always have when I'm standing over here and the conditions are windy, and I'm still not sure where it comes from. You don't hear it when it is calm, when there is no wind, and I already checked. I think I double checked, or if not triple checked or quadruple checked all the connectors. The HDMI connector into my camera, the HDMI connector into my switcher, the 3mm jack into my shotgun mic, the 3.5mm jack into my camera. I tried forcing the crackling, trying to evoke it by using a hairdryer at home, whilst having everything set up in the living room as I have out here. I tried with compressed air in one of those spray cans, and I went along every connector. I tried wiggling all the connectors, and I can wiggle them violently, and still I cannot evoke the same noise that you're hearing out here. It's really annoying, because I think it's one of the things that I haven't been able to solve yet. Thinking maybe it's the microphone itself, maybe it is the dead cat. But when you wiggle the dead cat, it also causes some friction with the dead cat, the inner part of the dead cat and the microphone. But it makes a different sound. It's not the same. It's really a static crackling that you're hearing. If you do hear it, hopefully by now it's gone and has spontaneously resolved. The thing is that when I was standing alongside runway 27 the other day when it was storming on that Monday, when I listened back to stream, I didn't hear the crackling, and the wind was much harder then than it was now. However, I did set my laptop tent against the wall of a little electricity house, so basically covering it from most of the wind. So I'm thinking it might also be something, a connector in one of the electrical parts that are in my laptop tent. I have the wireless router, the switcher, the receiver of my DJI wireless mic and my laptop. But I also tried to test that at home. All the connectors, also used compressed air and the hairdryer. And Mike says that the crackling sounds digital and not physical. That is good news, because then if it was over-modulating the audio, would that be something I can reduce in some way? Is it a matter of setting the levels lower, or anyway? Oh, that was a hard drop of the nose gear. Now, I was a bit distracted from checking everything at flight radar. Obviously, this is an Aer Lingus Airbus, most likely inbound from Dublin on Cork. And it was inbound from Dublin. Let me have a look at flight radar and give you some information in advance. This is KLM flight 930 coming in from Inverness, Scotland. It's an Embraer 175 airborne now for 1 hour and 17 minutes, and she is 4 years old. First flight April 2018. And we will be seeing two 737-800s after that. First one from Transavia, the second one will be from KLM. First is Embraer inbound from Inverness. Exit stage left it is for the Embraer. Now 2 737s are inbound. The first one is from Transavia and coming in from Lanzarote. A flight of 3 hours and 45 minutes. The airplane is 10 years old. First flight April 2012. Behind it is KLM flight 936 A737-800 inbound from Dublin and 12 years old. First flight March 2011. Don't tell me she's going to go around. Alright. Well, that was an exciting landing. That was a very nice one. Let me have a look. An hour and 32 minutes in. I have to remember the timestamp. Overmodulating issue. Well, thanks for thinking along, Mike. So that means that basically the wind is causing volume peaks. Is that, because I also have audio settings in my switcher, and I can also put in a limiter, so a hard stop, that a hard upper threshold for the volume. Would that possibly help? Mike, I have a dead cat on my camera. If you go to my community page on my YouTube channel, if you scroll down, you will see a photo of where a few weeks ago, when I bought my new tripod, I uploaded a picture. The settings, the setup that you see over there is the setup that I use in the field. Only when it's raining do I replace the furry dead cat for the foam wind thingy, because otherwise the microphone doesn't fit through the hole of the rain cover. But when I'm in the field and it's not raining, I always have the furry dead cat on. But I think under conditions like this, the only thing that would attenuate the wind noise would be a blimp, and that's of course overkill and something that I cannot put on a small camera that I have out here. Oh, interesting discussion. Yorkshire biker thinks it's more physical noise, as it happens at low volumes noise, low wind noise as well. Well, thank you guys for thinking along, and thank you Rom NYC for your super sticker. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much, my friend. So, and Chris Mills says it's audio texture. So guys, what could I possibly do to attenuate the crackling? If you have tips, I'm all ears, because I think it's very annoying. Hey there Jonas, goedemiddag. Welcome to the stream. All other viewers who have meanwhile joined us, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing alongside Polderbaan, runway 18 right, currently one of the two runways in use for arrivals. Let me double check that now that I mention it, because runway 27 has been in use on and off throughout the day. Yeah, now we have a dual runway configuration for arrivals, 18 right and 27. Runway 24 is now the only runway in use for departures. Has been on and off, as it has been the case over the last week. That is, runway 18 right is the runway that has been in use for landings throughout the day. Runway 27 is used as a secondary runway on and off every now and then, depending on how busy it gets. Runway 24, the main departure runway, and 18 left, the secondary runway for departures. Daniel, happy birthday to you. Congratulations, my friend. Hopefully you have as nice a weather as we have over here. So this is the Royal Air Maroc 737 inbound from, what was it, Casablanca. Next up will be a 737-900 from KLM, inbound from Paris Charles de Gaulle, one of the many flights between these two airports on a daily basis. It is a 737-900. It is KLM flight 1234, and the airplane we are about to see is 21 years old, and first flight was September 2001. The month and year of 9/11. So quite an old aircraft if you think of it like that. Let's not start with that, because some 747s and A300s are even much older and from the early 90s. If you're related to that, 21 years, not that old yet. Thrust for this 737. Rather high speed pass in front of us, and probably going to exit in a few moments. I will not consider a career into singing, Dick. I know it's awful. I will refrain from singing many more songs then. And yeah, Mike, I agree. I was also thinking about maybe just upgrading the microphone at some point. It's not too disturbing, but as you correctly stated, you do want to provide a clean experience, and given the fact that it is windy like today quite regularly, it would be something I want to have fixed sooner rather than later. Who knows? The next plane inbound is not yet visible. It is still flying north of the North Sea Canal. It is likely going to be a 737-800 from Norwegian in the Otto Sverdrup livery. I probably mispronounced the name of that man, but inbound from Copenhagen, a 737-800. The airplane, 12 years old, delivered, oh no, first flight, excuse me, in March 2011. Now, I don't see anything visually just yet. It will become visible from the right soon enough. Oh, Roy, thank you so much for your super chat. Guilty pleasure to spend at McDonald's on your way home. Well, Roy, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. I will have to wait with spending that guilty pleasure at McDonald's for a few more weeks because I am on a 6-week mini cut diet. As I said before, I'm also a very avid gym goer, and after a period of so-called bulking, I'm now trying to get rid of some of the collateral damage that you accumulate in the form of some fat. So for now, I'm on a very restricted diet for 2.5 more weeks. After that, I am back to being able to eat more freely, and I will definitely stop at McDonald's at some point. Definitely will do that if I will do another stream at runway 27, because that is just around the corner. From over here it's just a bit further out, although I do pass a McDonald's on my way home. Meanwhile, a tractor is going to pass us by, so don't be alarmed. Now Daniel suggests to upgrade to a thicker dead cat. I am very curious what I might be able to put on my microphone. It is a Rode Video Mic Go 2. And if you look at the photo of my setup that I posted in the community page, you can see that the current dead cat is already quite thick. So I think the next step up would have to be a blimp, but if you know of a dead cat that is also suitable for my shotgun mic that would be thicker than the dead cat that I currently have, I'm all ears. I'm always up for suggestions to improve the user experience. So here is the Norwegian 737 inbound from Copenhagen. does look a bit grumpy, doesn't he? Herr Otto. Elske suggests or says that she's sure that they have salads at McDonald's. Well, I know they have for a fact, but you don't go to McDonald's to have a salad now, do you? Oh, sorry, I forgot to zoom out again. My apologies. Jonas asks how much weight I want to lose. Well, I don't want to lose a certain amount of weight. I just diet for a certain amount of time and I restrict my calories to a certain degree and just see what happens. Last time I dropped weight at approximately 100 grams a day and now I have the same calorie intake. I even do less activity physically and so far it has been double that, so I have absolutely no idea why that is taking place, but I just change the diet for a certain amount of time and after that I reverse back to maintenance and after that back to a small surplus so that you can also grow again. Right, let's have a look. Inbound is an E2 Embraer 195 from KLM, inbound from Geneva, KLM flight 1930. Oh, multitasking is always difficult. The airplane, 2 years old, first flight, February 2021. Always a sight to behold, those massive engines. Again, a KLM pilot in a hurry. Once again, no reverse thrust being applied. Really starting to get curious if KLM pilots get incentivized financially to make it to the gate, through the gate as quickly as possible. You'd almost think it. Next is an airplane of a carrier that you don't see very often over here, Air Dolomiti. It is an Embraer 195, not an E2 but a regular 195, inbound from Munich, flight of 1 hour and 21 minutes as we speak. She's 14 years old, first flight January 2009. Let's have a look further out. Seems that it's mostly narrow bodies that are heading this way at the moment. Don't see any heavies just yet in Dutch airspace, and if I look a bit further out, oh, there's a 767 from KLM Cargo inbound from Miami on the way, still over at the North Sea, but let's see, that has an ETA of 24 minutes according to flight radar. Probably the first. Oh, wait a minute. There is a 747 inbound, and the way it is flying is not your typical runway 27 approach. So I think it might take a right turn and fly downwind and up to, yeah, because this is the only runway in use for landings at the moment. So we are awaiting the second queen of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Air Dolomiti. exit. Got to zoom out a couple of times. Still takes conscious thinking about it. They say that it becomes a habit in 3 weeks of practice or so. Anyway, Mike just looked at the picture. It is a pretty thick windscreen, so yeah. Yeah, well, let me just, for sake of amusement, let me fixate the tripod. Let me just, so the camera is now oriented away from the wind, people? I'm going to take off the dead cat now. This is the sound it makes when I have no dead cat on. And let me turn around the camera into the wind for you guys. So it does attenuate the rumbling of the wind quite a lot. Now I have the dead cat back on again. This is still into the wind. And this is again with the wind in the back, mostly. So it does make a difference. And it definitely makes more of a difference than the foam wind protector would do. But you have to consider that I'm standing out in the field here, so you're constantly in the wind, and also fixated the tilt as well just now. There's also no protection from any wind over here. It's always much more windy over here than it is in urbanized areas, where maybe under these weather conditions the dead cat would provide enough protection from the wind, from wind noise. Now, funnily enough, I use a lavalier mic that I have taped to my head, so that it's always at a fixed distance from my mouth, and also under the cap, so it's covered from rain should it start to rain. But I never experienced any crackling with the lavalier mic. Now the lavalier mic feeds to my to the switcher and to my laptop via a DJI mic wireless setup. So I have a little transmitter in one of the pockets of my jacket, and it sends the signal wirelessly to the receiver, which is plugged into my switcher. But I don't have any crackling when I mute the shotgun mic and only listen to the lavalier mic. So it's definitely camera and or shotgun mic related, the crackling, that's for sure. So here, one of EasyJet's many Airbuses with the thrust reversers open, now closed again. First exit over here. Speed brakes down, lowered again. Now let me quickly have a look at flight radar. The first airplane to arrive is a Boeing 737-800 from Transavia, inbound from Seville. 2 hours and 22 minutes of flight. The airplane, 4 years old, delivered in January 2019. Behind it, a CRJ from SAS, inbound from Copenhagen. Third inbound, an A319 EasyJet inbound from London Luton. And number 4, Queen number 2. So again, folks, if you need to use the bathroom, if you want to grab a cup of coffee, still have 10 minutes or so, maybe a little more, less. Be quick, but be back in time. Still kind of warm. Alright, folks, the CRJ already touched down inbound from Copenhagen. Not much visible in terms of livery. They went all out with white paint. Hey, they do have reverse thrust by the looks of it, or is that just a ring of differently colored paint on the engines? Ah, I forgot to look. No, it's gone, so they do have thrust reversers. Okay, I thought they didn't. Thought we had that discussion a couple of streams ago, and I think somebody once said that they didn't have reverse thrust, but apparently they do. Quickly back to the next airplane, which is the A319 from EasyJet inbound from London Luton. The airplane you're seeing, 16 years old, first flight, June 2006. Right, quickly back to the Queen. Where is she? There she is. So this is Air China Cargo flight 1043, Boeing 747-400, inbound from Shanghai. A flight of 11 hours and almost 40 minutes. And this aircraft is 28 years old, was delivered in February 1995. very exciting landing. Took a little while before she finally touched down. Probably more ground effect than normally would be the case. Foreground, a 737 KLM inbound from Lyon. 22-year-old plane, and let's see. Next up will be an Embraer 190 from Top Air Portugal. Normally flying the Airbuses, but they're coming in with an Embraer 190 for a change. Flight radar shows a little deviating path. You'd almost wonder if ATC cleared them too late and they have to fly back a little, or if they were going to the localizer of 18 Center. But there she is, inbound from Lisbon, Top Express, operated by Portugalia Airlines, flight 672, Embraer 190 long range, airborne for 2 hours and 15 minutes, the airplane 10 years old, first flight May 2012. Still a little far out. Rom NYC, thank you so much for your super chat. I'm very helpful, very happy to do it, so my pleasure. I'm always having great fun out here, particularly if the weather is such that I don't get wet and I don't have to use gloves to keep my hands warm. Now, if the wind also doesn't try to blow you over almost every second, then it gets even sweeter, but I'm sure those days will come later in the year. Also very much looking forward to when the day lengthens even further. Now in Europe this weekend we are going to go to summertime in the night from Saturday to Sunday. increasing the clock an hour, which makes that it stays light an hour longer. The sun already setting at, I think, around 7 o'clock, 7 p.m, 6:37 or so, don't know exactly, but makes streaming in the evening also a possibility. The other day when I was standing here, I think it was a week ago, and I also stayed until it got dark. In twilight the camera held up quite nicely, but as it got more dark I really had to struggle with, I really started struggling with focus, and also with focus mostly. So I think live streaming with this camera and this setup in actual darkness will be more difficult. I think you would probably be better off with a larger sensor camera. This being the Canon XA40, not the biggest of the sensors. Hey Mike, thanks for joining us, and also thank you very much for brainstorming with me and for all your input. Hope to see you again at the next one. Take care, enjoy your day, and I will see you soon, undoubtedly. So the airplane visible in the distance at the moment. KLM Cargo, Boeing 767-300 inbound from Miami. 8.5 hours underway. Boeing 767-300ER freighter. She's 21 years old. First flight October 2001, a month after 9/11, so quite long ago already. See, she's definitely being affected by the wind. Very, very nice landing, considering the weather conditions, the wind conditions I should say. Unfortunately for us, not the loudest. But for sure a nice landing. Now let's turn around the camera again. We'll have to wait a little bit for the next plane. I think it's going to be ITA Airways flight 110 inbound from Rome on A319. Getting closer quickly. Let's see what comes after that. Zoom out on flight radar. So far, also if I look in the vicinity of the Netherlands, I see, whoa. Singapore Airlines Cargo inbound from Los Angeles, another 747-400. Now just crossing the North Sea, just leaving mainland UK, if you can call it mainland, you know what I mean. I'm not a native English speaker, I do my best, but assuming that 18 right, well no, even if 27 were to open again, as the airplane is coming in from the west, she's more than likely going to land in front of us, so that means a third queen is underway, ladies and gentlemen. Zeker. Hey man. So, meanwhile, Bart from V1 Aviation just passed me, also looking to set up. Busy on the phone. I think he's going to set up around the touchdown zone. Mainland UK would be the correct term. Yeah. I say it and then I think, oh wait, is that the right term? But I'm happy to get confirmation that it was Yorkshire Biker. Thanks. So, Singapore Airlines flight 7987 is underway, crossing the North Sea over from the UK to the Netherlands. ETA still 22 minutes according to flight radar. I think it might be even a little bit more than that, but we'll see. Next up will be ITA Airways flight 110, inbound from Rome, an A319. And let me see. Oh no, still. Oh wait, I do see it visually, and I think you should be able to see it in the top middle of the screen as well right now. We're seeing a 19-year-old aircraft, still in the Alitalia livery. If I look at the picture on flight radar, 19 years old, September 2003, first flight. After that, Austrian Airlines, inbound from Vienna, 1.5 hours of flight, A320-200. But first, the A319. ITA Airways officially, but livery, if the picture on flight radar is correct, would be Alitalia. NYC says China Eastern with Panda livery inbound soon. Awesome, awesome. Zampong! Hi there, welcome back. Good to see you, hope you're doing well. Checking in from Poland. Old Alitalia livery once again. Although I must say I like the shade of blue that ITA Airways has in its livery. KLM blue is nice, but ITA Airways blue is also very pretty. It's almost a retro livery when you look at this livery. And the apps, Jannes, Tom, good day to you all, welcome back, great to have you with us, hope you guys are doing well, just in time for the third queen of the stream. She's crossing the North Sea as we speak. And there's also a Panda livery China Eastern underway. Where is it? Let me zoom out. Where is it? Where is it? Is it still far out then? Oh, it's now flying over the islands north of mainland Germany by the looks of it. Oh, and that's a very nice livery. ETA 29 minutes according to flight radar. Definitely worth sticking around for. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure to stick around. The third Queen underway in a very special livery 777. First up, this airplane from Austrian, an A320-200 inbound from Vienna. Just over 1.5 hours of flight. She's 9 years old, lived in October 2013. Now, I'm not going to jinx it, but I am going to call it. It looks like the wind is lying down a little bit. I feel like it's getting calmer wind-wise than it was an hour ago. The wind is not yet fully gone, but I feel like it is a bit less gusty and less intensive now. Rom NYC says, I love all planes, but between the 767 and the 330 I don't know which one I like the least. That's a good question. Me personally, I like the 767 better than the A330 if it is relating the aesthetics. But I do like the sound of the A330 as it takes off and also as it lands and it applies the reverse thrust. Now Nia, thank you so much for joining us again. It's been a pleasure to have you around. I look forward to seeing you again sometime soon. Take care for now and see you at the next one. I might have touched the wrong button on my browser because I seem to have lost my chat window, so let me try to fix that first. Maybe in a simple matter of refreshing. No. Ah, okay. Okay. Right, okay. Fortunately, I don't have the chat on my telephone at the moment, but as we are waiting, I have to try to fix that. Take it out of the phone holder. I have to look something up. Bart, I don't have any wind noise cancelling applied, unfortunately. I think it might be just that the wind is a bit less unfavorable than it was before. And let me see if I can go back to fixing, getting the chat on my window on my phone. Bear with me, folks, I'll be back behind the camera in a minute. little bit of typing. Is this? Okay. Yes, excellent. Problem sorted. I somehow closed the chat window on my cell phone, and I had to type in the last part of the URL to make sure that I have it back on my screen again. And there it is. All right. Hey, top of the morning to you too, Evan, my friend. Good to see you again, and thank you so much for your super chat. Very much appreciated. We are having some windy conditions over here, although I do have the feeling that the wind is subsiding a little. The gust up to 30 knots in the ticker was from the weather update I put in there before going live. Let me also see if I can update that, because we are still waiting for the next plane to arrive, and I'm also curious to see what the current weather is. So let me look it up. I will be back behind the camera again in time for the Singapore Airlines 747. Don't you guys worry. I'll do a little update of the METAR. So according to the METAR, the wind has not subsided significantly, because I have it updated right now. And don't be sorry, Bart, you're still far away and the airplanes are more to the right, so you're definitely not cluttering the image. So, as you guys can see in the ticker, wind is coming in from 230 degrees, 19 knots, so it has dropped 1 knot, and gusts up to 29 knots. So, it hasn't subsided a lot just yet. We are waiting for the third queen of the afternoon before we will see her. First will be KLM flight 1218, visible over here. It is an Embraer 175 from KLM, inbound from Oslo in Norway. And let me also release the lock of the tilt. She's 5 years old, first flight June 2017. For those of you tuning in later, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy and you are watching CROSSWIND arrivals at Polhem runway 18 right. These airplanes land in southern direction and wind is coming from the southwest. 19 knots with gusts up to 29 knots. Not as stormy as last Monday when we had 4 go-arounds. In fact, we haven't had any go-arounds yet this afternoon. If you missed the stream of the first storm of the year last week Monday, not last Monday but the Monday before, I think it was Monday the 13th, make sure to look back the stream that is also on my channel page. We had 4 go-arounds, one of which was very exciting. Basically a touch and go, a double touch and go from an EasyJet Airbus. with the main landing gear touching down on the ground twice before the pilot still decided to go around. So if you missed it, make sure to look that up. I have time-stamped the go-arounds in the comment below the video, so you don't have to go and sift through all the images, all the footage yourself. I've done that for you, but it's definitely worth having a look. Particularly the EasyJet one was very spectacular. Now we are awaiting the third queen of the day, ladies and gentlemen. You still have a few more minutes to grab another cup of tea or a cup of coffee, but she is approaching quickly. She's over the mainland of Holland now, flying just north of Beverwijk, and will make a turn to final in a few seconds. Singapore Airlines Cargo, flight 7987, inbound from Los Angeles, California. Airborne now, 9 hours and 44 minutes. It is a 747-400 freighter, and she is 19 years old, lived in August 2003. And I don't have her in my sight visually yet. It will only be a matter of time. In the garbage bags I have around my power supply a little bit. Has difficulty focusing on her. Let's try that again. Hopefully the camera will lock onto her properly. Aqua's informing us in the meantime that the special livery China Airlines has an ETA of 21 minutes. Also be sure to stick around for that if you can, because that's also a very nice liveried airplane underway. And if I look on my laptop screen, I can see that the camera fortunately has good focus. Very pleased with that. These bigger aircraft are much better, much easier for the camera to focus on. It is the third queen of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Doubts, is the camera still shaking despite all the image stabilization and fixation, or is it just the screen of my camera that is moving back and forth, which makes it seem that the camera is the footage is shaky, but it is actually still shaky. Dynamic image stabilization make a difference. from standard image stabilization to dynamic. See if it makes a difference. Maybe it reduces the vibration a little bit more. Anyway, here she is drifting along, almost touching down. Folks, if you're liking what you're seeing and you haven't done so already, consider subscribing, turn on notifications. Now if you compare that with the two other queens, then this was a very controlled and easy landing. The previous two queens seem to be having much more difficulty with putting her on the ground. Kudos for the crew of Singapore Airlines Cargo. It does feel like the wind has dissipated more than just the 1 knot in the METAR. Not wind still yet, but earlier in the afternoon it was definitely blowing harder. Unfortunately, I cannot zoom in any further. This is the maximum of zoom I can do, at least optical zoom. I would be able to zoom in further digitally, but that probably deteriorates the image quality. Now, the next plane is also approaching. It's not the special livery 777 yet, but a much more common Embraer 175 KLM flight 1810 inbound from Dresden. It's an Embraer 175 that is 6 years old. First flight February 2017, and after that we'll see an A320 from EasyJet inbound from Geneva. It's just turned final. Here again, an Embraer from KLM, not applying the thrust reversers, only brakes and spoilers. Now you can see with the sun out lower now in the west that it does illuminate the livery quite beautifully, and you can see it very well compared to when you're standing over here in the mornings and you have backlight because the sun is between you and the aircraft landing. Oftentimes the atmosphere is more cinematic, if you will, with haziness, sometimes some fogginess in the morning. So even though I am a night owl by nature, I do like standing here in the mornings, maybe just a little more than in the afternoons. Aqua is also informing us that there's an A350 from Turkish underway. We haven't seen any A350s yet today, so that would be today's stream's first. ETA 18 minutes and the 777 China Cargo ETA 15 minutes. So don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. I know I will stick around for them. First up, EasyJet flight 21355, A320-200 inbound from Geneva, Switzerland, departed an hour and 15 minutes ago. 15, that is. The airplane 13 years old, first flight February 2010. Let's have a look and see what's next. Probably another 737 from Norwegian in the Christopher Polhem livery. Let's see if the man on the tail on that plane looks as grumpy as the one on the previous one, because he wasn't really smiling a lot. Hey Yorkshire Biker, sorry to see you go, but it was a pleasure to have you around again, and I will see you again soon. Take care and bye for now, but see you soon undoubtedly. We are awaiting the Panda livery 777. Let's have a look. The A350 from Turkish is going to be following it by the looks of it. We will first see let me use the turbo zoom from the handle. So this is another KLM City Hopper Embraer 190, one of the many, inbound from Florence in Italy. 13 years old, delivered in March 2010, and seems that a BA3 Airbus A319 inbound from Heathrow will go ahead and be number 2. And then we will see the 737 from Norwegian, and after that the 777, followed by the A350. So an interesting lineup. squeaky brakes and no reverse thrust we've seen before. Though if KLM pilots do get financial incentives to get back to the gate as quickly as possible, these pilots apparently are already in the top of the competition, or they can do without the incentive. But it's the exception to the rule. Most of the other airplanes have sped me by rather quickly. Didn't take the first exit, kept up the speed and took a later exit, shortening the time to the gate. Photo for you asks, morgen ook een stream, tomorrow also a stream. I definitely am planning on doing so. Not yet sure if it's going to be in the morning or in the afternoon. I think if the weather is okay, I think I want to go in the mornings. But we'll have to look at the weather prediction for tomorrow later tonight. But unless it's going to rain and pour the entire day, which I think it won't, I do intend to go out tomorrow. If I go in the mornings, I can also stick around for the A380 if it's going to land on the same runway. At least I'm assuming that the winds are not going to change that dramatically. So let's have a look. First airplane to arrive will be British Airways flight 446, inbound from London Heathrow, departed 35 minutes ago. Meanwhile, to the right of me, K4, first time we see the bird controllers. Haven't seen a lot of birds today. Haven't heard any fireworks thus far. In terms of bird control, it has been a rather boring afternoon, but for the safety, that's of course a good thing. As I was saying, BA flight 446 inbound from London Heathrow, departed 36 minutes ago. Airbus A319-100. She's 21 years old. First flight May 2001. Number 2 is going to be the second Norwegian 737 that we are going to see today in the Christopher Polhem livery. Curious to see how happy the fellow will look, or if it's also going to be a grumpy mister. Could it be a KLM pilot flying this BA flight? Because high-speed passage, you'd think it was a KLM flight, but it wasn't. Taking the second exit, I think. Quickly back to the other side of the runway, because the Norwegian 737 is also getting closer and closer by. She's already visible in the distance. Now, as I was saying, the Christopher Polhem livery. Also the 777 from China Eastern is already visible in the background. So I'm not going to follow the 737 all the way, because it's rather back to back, as you can see. But first, this 737-800 inbound from Oslo, departed just over 1.5 hours ago, and the aircraft is 6 years old. First flight December 2016. Roy, if you're still around, thanks for joining us again today. Enjoy your dinner, and I will see you again soon, hopefully. Take care for now. Now, let's see. Just me, or is the face a little bit damaged? The paint, that is. Also not a very cheery fellow by the looks of it. But then again, in the time they made these, undoubtedly this is a copy of a painting or something. Back in the day, they didn't smile for when the painter made a portrait. Christopher does need a paint job from NYC. So what we see over here, China Eastern Airlines flight 771, inbound from Shanghai. Departed 11 hours 22 minutes ago. It is a 777-300ER in a very special livery, the CIIE livery, or Panda livery, which I think rings a bell for more people. The airplane is 8 years old. First flight October 2014. Well, I'm stating the obvious, but what a beautiful machine that is. Beautiful. I wish more aircraft would have liveries like that. Now, meanwhile, things are starting to get a bit more clouded over here. Let me just double check the weather radar once more. Precipitation expected around 7 p.m. so it's probably just the first clouds of the area. Oh, I do see that it is activating a bit, so I think the forecast of Buienradar might not be too accurate and might be too optimistic. No, I will show you the clouds later. Let's first go back to the A350 from Turkish, because that is about to touch down. No time to waste, at least not now. I think aesthetically, the A350 together with the A220 are my two favorite aircraft right now, because they are so sleek. Of course, the Queen is a classic, always pretty. If you look at modern aircraft, I think these are the two aesthetically pleasing. I think maybe the Dreamliner will be number 3 then. Now, if I show you guys again the bigger picture, this is to the south and this is to the southwest where the wind is coming from. You see the weather is looking different from what it was earlier today, when it was a mostly blue sky. It looks threatening, but the weather radar says it's still going to stay dry for the time being. If I look at the weather radar of the past hour, I do see that the weather is activating, so I am afraid that it won't stay dry until 7 p.m. as the predictions are saying now, but definitely something to keep an eye out for. Meanwhile, the next airplane is coming closer and closer by. Let me have a look at flight radar, close the weather app again, switch to... So this is a Neo from Vueling, A320 Neo, inbound from Barcelona. After a flight of 1 hour and 53 minutes, about to touch down. Vueling flight 8306. She's 4 years old, first flight November 2018. High speed pass. Looking to take a later exit. If I saw correctly, the next plane will be another Neo. From EasyJet, inbound from Stansted. Just approaching the glide slope in the distance. Don't see her just yet visually. So far it isn't raining yet, but even if it were about to rain, I already have most of my equipment in a laptop tent that is waterproof. I had it out last Monday the entire stream, so I know that that is waterproof, and I already wrapped my power supply in the 2 garbage bags I also used on Monday, worked a treat. So the only thing now exposed is my non-waterproof camera and my non-waterproof microphone, but I have my cover with me. My smartphone is waterproof, so that shouldn't give any difficulties. Let me also have a look at Flight Radar, see if some interesting airplanes are coming in, because it is also getting later. I still intend to go to the gym tonight, so I have to pack in, get home, grab something to eat, go to the gym, have dinner afterwards, then go to bed in time to also do a stream possibly tomorrow morning. So let me have a look. Yeah, there is another slew of airplanes coming in, an A320neo, an Embraer 190, an A319. I am going to stick around just a bit longer, but I don't expect to stick around indefinitely though. The weather radar says we're still good, and even if it were about to rain, I also have a roll of garbage bags with me, so if push comes to shove, I can always wrap other stuff around in garbage bags as well. Make it to the car dry. So for the time being, we're still good. We are waiting for the next plane to arrive, which is an A320neo from EasyJet, inbound from London Stansted. Ordered 35 minutes ago, flight 23014. I always wonder why EasyJet has those long flight numbers, 5-digit numbers, but the airplane we are about to see land is 3 years old, first flight October 2019. After that will be KLM Embraer 190 inbound from Montpellier. She's 11 years old, delivered first flight January 2012. Meanwhile, Bart has arrived on the scene. Hey Bart.
Hey.
What's up? Yeah, doing fine.
Yeah.
Still the last couple of airplanes before the rain is coming. Looks.
Coming?
Well, Radar says it's going to stay dry until 7 p.m. but if I look at the last hour, it seems to be activating, so I wouldn't count on it too much.
It's gonna stay dry until roughly, I think 7:30, so it will be dark by then.
Yeah, exactly.
But there is a queen coming.
Oh really?
Yeah, Suparna.
Suparna?
It's an hour and 10 minutes out.
Yeah, that's too long for me.
Yeah.
As I mentioned just now, I also want to go to the gym tonight, so I have to pack everything in, go back home, eat something, then go to the gym.
Exactly.
So, won't stick around for too much longer, but
So you have a glimpse of what's coming. Nothing special.
no, a lot of narrow bodies mostly.
Yeah, the first heavy is gonna be 15 minutes.
50 minutes. Well, you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. I think I am going to wrap it up in not too long. I am, of course, standing properly where I am. But we have seen the most important aircraft, the most interesting ones already. Yeah, not a lot going on at the moment, but yeah.
Really nothing much going on right now.
Photo for you says in the chat that he estimates around 6:30 that it's already going to rain at Schiphol. Yeah, it's
6:30 UTC.
yeah, exactly. Well, it's the Netherlands. This is spring in the Netherlands. It's officially spring for a couple of days now, but yeah, you have to make the best of it.
We can have this weather until summer.
This is all year weather for us. All the British viewers can probably relate.
Yeah.
So let me have a look. This is another Embraer. This is the Embraer 190 coming in from Montpellier. 1.5 hours of flight. 11 years old. First flight January 2012. Wind is not slowing down a lot yet. It has subsided somewhat compared with earlier today, but I think it was only for today. Do you know by any chance? Oh, the wind for tomorrow.
No, but I can have a look. I think it's not really changing.
I think they predicted rain showers for tomorrow afternoon, right?
We have a look. Friday. Oh, it's gonna be much better though. Much more sun.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. Oh, the winds. It's gonna be steady 32, 33 because look, it's building up in the morning from 29.
Oh yeah.
It's kilometers an hour. By the way.
Kilometers, yeah.
So it's.
But it's less than it is now, isn't it?
No. Right now I think it's 30. Well, it's basically the same.
20 knots, gusts up to 30, so that's almost double in kilometers, right?
Let me have a right now it's 32.
32.
So it's basically the same as tomorrow. But the wind is going to change a little bit from the southwest. So there might be a chance that they're either going to open up 27 more for landing.
Well, last week it's been mostly polder bound with 27 as a secondary one.
But the crosswinds will be better tomorrow.
More crabbing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You heard it. You heard it here first.
So I'm gonna take my camera after work again tomorrow. So.
Yeah. Well, if the weather is okay, I think I'm going to go out tomorrow morning until the A380, which hopefully will land on the Polderbaan, if they still use it for landings, that is.
I have no idea what the run schedule is for tomorrow. Time-based.
Me neither. So I'll probably be gone then by the time you arrive on the scene, but...
I don't know if I'm going to get the stream.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do it for the weekend. I was going to be taking some videos now.
Some 4K videos.
Yeah.
So keep V1 Aviation's website in sight. There will be new footage in 4K coming shortly. You were also out when it was storming last Monday, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was not streaming though.
No,
It was
but
a bit too tricky for me.
But you were at the threshold of 2.2, right?
Yeah, I was indeed at threshold 2.2 and then I switched to takeoff 2.4.
I was streaming alongside the McDonald's for 4.5 hours.
Oh really?
And after we spoke, you told me about the blue zone for parking, but
yeah, true.
I got away with it. So
did?
I did, yeah. But it was too badness. The wind was so hard.
Yeah.
The entire day.
Yeah, even the camera footage is shaky. Yeah, it's so hard to get smooth footage.
This works a treat with the 10 wires fixating it in the ground, but it's still so wobbly that you still. I turned on after a couple of minutes. I tried turning on the image stabilization. It helped. It made a great difference, but it was still shaky. But today as well, with the constant wind.
Yeah, but it's especially the gusts.
Yeah.
If it's steady wind, it's not a problem.
Exactly.
When it's gusting, it really is a challenge.
Exactly. But it makes for good footage regardless. If so far as you're able to hear something, because the wind,
It was really good when I was listening, but then when the wind picked up, I could hear it hissing.
Yeah. Yeah, you need a blimp for conditions like that, but you cannot put it on a camera. You have to hire somebody to point the blimp along with the camera, otherwise you won't hear it.
Well, but there are microphones connected to this.
I will have to look into that, because I don't think that this microphone is adequately equipped to battle the conditions out here. If it's wind still, no issues, but yeah, I have a wind attenuator that just generally drops 20 decibels, and that's not doing anything particularly for the wind.
No, it just
Just the general volume, exactly.
Volume,
yeah. Well,
Let me have a quick look.
there's not a lot inbound at the moment. There's a Neo from EasyJet, inbound from Rome, flying base, about to turn final.
Yeah, it's a Neo livery as well.
Yep.
So the first heavy is going to be in 45 minutes. It's going to be the Pepsi Korean troops, sorry.
Yeah, they fly at well, in a few months when it's when the light is when the sun goes down later, it's going to be a nice one to capture.
Yeah, especially in the high summer when
Yeah.
the sun sets after 9.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good because almost all summer it will be 365 takeoffs.
Oh,
And it's
awesome.
so good, especially around sunset.
Yeah.
The light is just so good. It's almost golden.
Well, I look forward to it. Also, streaming without having a coat
Yeah,
on, maybe
exactly.
grab a beer on.
The board of advice: take something to protect your camera from the sun because it will get overheating, and especially with the laptop.
Yeah.
Try to look for a cooling pad. It's better than even
Yeah. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think I am going to wait for the Neo to land, and after that I think I'm going to wrap it up because traffic is getting a bit slow, and I also
Dinner time.
it's almost dinner time. Exactly.
I'm not gonna wait this one up. I'm gonna go head out as well.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, the EasyJet inbound from Rome will be the last one. Rick already has to leave, Janet as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope to see you again soon, and have a nice day or nice evening depending on where you live, and see you all soon. Bruce Castellano also has to go. Take care, see you soon. Bye for now.
Almost comforting with the water running there.
Yeah. Yeah, if it blows a bit harder, then the sound of the waves makes a really
when it's
calming
really-
background.
Yeah, when it's really gusting, it is.
Although I have to say, I'd much rather go to the sea than
True.
standing in the wind out here exposed in the field. But
True. Also exposed to damage.
also, yeah, exactly. So I can make out the Neo just about. It is visible just about. Let me see, can you guys see as well? I think, yep, just about. Can I zoom in on it? Well, how about that? Camera doesn't even lose focus. Ja, misschien. Of nog wat meer sticky. Ja, dit is al dikker, dit past niet. Ja, daarom heb ik dit er ook om gedaan.
Oh.
Het is eigenlijk voor fiets bedoeld.
Ja, ik heb er ook eentje van de motor, die past net aan als een klein statief heen.
Ik heb er wat foam tussen gedaan, maar dat werkt nog steeds niet voldoende. Of ik moet hem aan het handvat doen, maar dat is weer lastig met het bedienen van de camera.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Bart and me are discussing how to prevent my phone holder from tipping over, because it is starting to tip over, so I need to fixate it to my tripod better. So we're exchanging some DIY tips.
Yeah. Well, guess what? That's the world of live streaming.
Exactly.
You start out with a tripod and a camera, and then it's just 90% DIY.
Yeah. Right. Hey, Rob NYC, thank you so much for the super chat on the last airplane of the day. Hey Evan, peace out to you too. Hope to see you again soon at another one. Have a nice day for now. So, once again, this is EasyJet flight 27976 in the Neo livery. It is an A320 Neo inbound from Rome, brand new, was delivered July last year, or first flight was last year I should say. The airplane about to touch down after 2 hours and almost 15 minutes of flight. Still struggling a little bit with the wind, but not much. Not as much as the Queens earlier this afternoon. Particularly the KLM Cargo one. I almost thought for a moment it was going to make a touch and go or a go around, but in the end it did manage to land. For those of you tuning in later, you guys missed 3 Queens. Once I get home, and also after I've been to the gym later tonight, I will time stamp the Queens for you guys, so if you guys missed it, you don't have to look for it, but you can find them easily. For now, I think this is going to be it for me for today. I am going to go out again tomorrow if everything works out weather-wise. For now, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me. It's been a blast once again. I hope you guys have a pleasant day. If you guys have time, hopefully I will see you again tomorrow. If not, hopefully see you again soon at another one. For now, take care, be safe, and see you at the next one. Bye bye.